You probably don't realize it yet, but your teenage years are the most underrated, most important stretch of your life. Most people spend them doing stuff that doesn't actually matter. They're scrolling on their phones, they're consuming endless content, hanging out for the sake of hanging out, and chasing temporary highs instead of building permanent foundations. And it doesn't feel like a big deal when you're 16, 17, 18 until you hit your 20s and realize that most of your friends have a head start while you're just drifting through life. You need to stop wasting your teenage years because time in your teens is like compound interest for your life. What you build, learn, and focus on right now, that is going to multiply over the next 10 to 20 years. And what you ignore, that gap doesn't magically close. And here's the harsh truth: most teens aren't lazy, they're just distracted. They fill their days with low value stuff that feels productive, but it doesn't actually move the needle. Video games, endless scrolling, TV, social media drama, all of it's fine occasionally, but if that's the majority of your time, you're robbing yourself of growth that you're just never going to get back. The teens who actually level up early, they are spending their time building skills, learning things that nobody else is thinking out loud, and challenging themselves. And look, it doesn't feel exciting every day, believe me, but it's going to compound like crazy the earlier you begin, especially in your teenage years. And this isn't about being perfect or turning into some kind of robot. It's just about direction. Your teenage years are all about the right direction, doing things that are going to move you forward. Every small win is going to compound, whether you're learning a skill, starting a side hustle, just building discipline and focusing on yourself. These are things that just seem minor at the time, but by the time that you hit 20, 25, 30, they are going to separate you from everyone else. Think of it like this, right? You have two teens that start at 16. One wastes their time scrolling every single day. The other is building a skill that only takes 1 hour per day. By the time that they're 23, which is how old I am right now, the second teen is years ahead, all from just a small, consistent action. Another thing that most teens miss is learning to be comfortable alone, not lonely, not desperate for attention, just comfortable focusing on yourself and being alone. Because the sooner you learn to enjoy your own growth, the less you get distracted by meaningless validation from everyone around you. If you can't sit with yourself in your teen years, you'll spend your 20s chasing attention instead of building results. And here's the thing about mistakes: the teenage years are forgiving if you learn from them, but they're brutal if you ignore them. Squandering time right now isn't wasted years, it's just lost momentum. It's lost confidence, lost opportunities. But if you invest right now, the returns are going to be insane. Because every habit that you form in your teens, it's going to stay with you unless you actively break it. Good habits result in a massive advantage, and bad habits that carry over, that's just invisible weight. So which one do you want to carry into your 20s? The right action would be to have good habits and have a massive advantage. And here's a quick rule as well: ask yourself every single day, is what I'm doing right now building my future, or is it just filling my time? The difference isn't always obvious, but that question in itself is going to force focus, because most teens, what they're doing is they're just filling the hours. But you want to be investing your hours, even 30 to 60 minutes a day, building a skill or just learning something meaningful that is going to separate you from 95% of your peers. So here's the biggest takeaway: stop thinking that your teenage years are just practice. Stop assuming that you have all the time in the world, and stop filling your days with things that don't actually matter. Instead, start building good habits, working on yourself, getting comfortable being alone, and taking action. Why? Because your 20s will thank you for it. The teenage years aren't just supposed to be fun and games, they are your launch pad. The better that you use them, the higher you'll fly in your 20s. Or you'll just watch other pass you while you scroll. And you're not going to see the immediate benefit right away, but by the time you hit your 20s, you're going to see who was prioritizing and utilizing their time correctly and who wasn't. That's all I got for this video, guys. If you learned something, if you relate to this, feel free to drop a comment, like, subscribe, and check out some of the other videos. With that, we will catch you guys on the next one.